I know it's at the end of the school year and you are worn out, but trust me on this, just take a few minutes to reflect about your school year. There is so many gems, so many great things that happen in your year that if you don't take the time to reflect upon it, you're going to quickly forget about those. Now, I don't care what kind of year you had. This could have been your worst year ever. But I promise you, somewhere in that year, there were some nuggets, some golden things that happened that you need to hang on to, that you need to bring out, and you need to try again or use again or learn from. I've been teaching 20 years, and I can tell you at the end of each day, I just take a few minutes, just a quick reflection on how that day went. It doesn't have to be anything big. It could just be a quick reflection on how did the lessons go? How were the students in my class? What could I have done differently? What could have made this lesson better? You know, all those little things. Because what happens if you're a new teacher, especially if you're a new teacher, first year, first 1, 2, 3 years, you are just barely hanging on. First 3 years of teaching, if you're listening to this right now, chances are you're just trying to make it through each day. You're just trying to keep your head above water. I know I've been there. And any veteran teacher, they have been there and they know that pain. It is so real. The struggle is real. But if you can just take a breather somewhere at the end of the day, just to reflect upon how everything went, it's going to make your teaching so much better. Because what happened in teaching, there's this learning curve. There's this huge learning curve. And the quicker you go through that learning curve, the better off it's going. It's like classroom management. If you put the effort in for the first week, 2, 3 weeks on that classroom management, you're going to see the dividends later on. Same thing with reflection. Even though you may feel so worn out, if you can reflect upon what's going right or wrong in your class every day, you're going to see the dividends later on in your teaching career because you're going to go through that learning curve so much quicker. So as we're at the end of the year now, please just take a second to reflect upon how the year went. Now, I'm going to give you some things for me, new, good, bad, however you want to look at it, but these are some things that I'm going to walk away with. First one is regarding the lessons. I started introducing a new kind of lesson into my format, and that's called a Breakout EDU. It's like an escape room, but in reverse. It's a box, and in this box, I put some candy in there, but they have to solve riddles to get into the box. I am normally not one for group work because I believe students get more off task and they learn less. However, in this case, I definitely support it. I have seen this in action in my classroom, and it is awesome. The kids love it. The kids are working hard. They're trying to solve the riddles. They're getting frustrated. They're getting excited. You name it, all the feelings. It's taken a lot of knowledge to get through it. It's taken a lot of practical skills. And it is just great to see them go through that process. So Breakout EDU is a new thing introduced, and that's something I'm definitely going to keep around. So that's definitely a great highlight. The other thing I'm going to walk away with is at the beginning of the year, I had a student teacher. My district asked me, hey, do you mind if a student teacher is in your class so they can learn, trying to get their credential and everything else? That's a sure thing. And so they came into my classroom. And here's what that does for me. It gives me a new perspective because I've been doing this for a long time now, and I have my certain routines and patterns and everything else. But having a new teacher come in, I get that insight again of what it's like to be a new teacher. I see the struggles. I see all the crazy things that can happen in a classroom. There are so many things going on at one time in a classroom. It is crazy. And unless you actually take a second to think about it, think of it. First 5 minutes, here we go. First 5 minutes, you got students coming in, you got students leaving, you got a lesson up, you got to take care of papers, you got to collect the papers, you got to pass out papers, you got kids coming in, they got to go to a nurse, you got to get counselors calling you, you're trying to get your attendance. You got all these things in the first couple minutes of your class that you have to deal with. It gets so overwhelming. And I was able to kind of take a step back and witness that through the eyes of my student teacher. So that was a great takeaway to give me that refresher again of what it might be like to be my first, second, third year of teaching. And the third takeaway that I'm going to get from this year is this. I've stepped out of my comfort zone. I've been in my classroom. I'm used to my classroom. This is my little bubble. This is my little safe place. But I took a step out of this, and I'm getting more involved with my school in general, meaning I'm trying to be more involved in the programs going on here at school as far as part of the committees, as part of the planning, as part of working with admin. I've taken that role on this year more than I have ever done before, and it's taken a lot out of me. It's really stretching me beyond my comfort zone. But that's the third thing I'm walking away with, is knowing that I need to take my education, career, whatever you want to call it, to the next level. I can no longer just feel safe in my room. I need to take it out there. I need to share with you. I need to share with other teachers. I just need to share what I've learned these past 20 years.